Welcome to Trial by Podcast. With us today, we have an invasion of British people. Myself, Tim, Michael, and John from a YouTube channel, Twitst Reviews. I probably said that wrong. And, of course, Danzy. So, everyone introduce yourself and what you do.
Hi, I'm Danzy. I make videos on the internet.
Hi, I'm Tim. I run a page called Donald Lauren. You may have heard of me.
I'm Michael. I'm from Twitst Reviews. We YouTube channel. We're just sort of doing.
I'm John. I'm from Twitst Reviews. I help as well, and we both run some little reviews things there.
Good stuff. Right, today we have some updates about the Winds of Winter, some other updates on the smaller Game of Thrones kind of related things, and lastly we're going to be bulking out the show with a bit of discussion about House Tyrell, because they're the house we haven't done yet. And then we might have some questions. We might not. Depends how prepared we were. I wasn't. So, we'll start with the really small things. I only think me and Danzy can talk about this unless Michael or John have played it. The Telltale Games released the third episode of their video game series, Game of Thrones. And
yeah, please ambiguously talk
downloaded,
about it.
haven't played.
Right.
Unfortunately.
We'll keep this spoiler-free. Yeah,
This one keeps saying, no, pick the other one, pick the other one. It's really frustrating.
It was really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I don't know, it's getting better and better. I'm really
Do
impressed.
we get to see Sansa? I just wondering.
Sorry, say again?
Do we get to see Sansa in like the background or something?
We haven't seen Sansa. I mean, maybe we've seen Sansa. I don't know.
Is she in? Because I knew they were doing the wedding, and I thought I wanted to see how they do that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask, do they put any new show characters with like voice actors in? Not new show characters, I mean like existing show characters. Like, so in the first episode they had Marjorie
yes,
and...
Yes.
Yes, they do, but we won't say who.
Okay.
Why? Is it really a spoiler? You say who it is?
Well, you know what? Her picture was in the teaser for the post for the episode.
As is
it's Daenerys. It's Daenerys, and she has like one line. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, is she voiced by Emilia Clarke?
Yes,
Yeah.
she is. And I can't tell if the cel-shaded like art style makes her look more or less wooden than her normal face.
It made her look like a Disney character, like Pixar. Like, that's about.
Fugu!
Yeah.
Kawaii, Khaleesi.
But yeah,
Okay,
it's
well,
good.
I'm going to ask, is it... Because you can answer this without spoilers. Is it more... Because I felt the last episode was... not a lot happened between each storyline, because it focused on like 4 different ones, and it felt like not much happened when it reached the conclusion. Is that different? Just more stuff happened?
Yes,
like,
in short, yes.
Does the plot move on?
The second one did, I agree, feel a little bit like it was just setting everything up again. Like, because obviously after the events of the first episode, it felt like it was just going back and resetting up all the characters, because obviously they introduced some new point of view characters, or characters move positions in the world. This one takes... You have no new playable characters. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, that is right.
No. Yeah, so there's Asher, Mira...
And there's a spoiler for 2, so we shouldn't say that.
And Gyared, and someone else.
And someone else, spoiler.
Well, they did say that there would only be 5 point of view, and yeah.
I thought Talia was going to be a point of view.
Yeah. But
maybe she will be later, though.
Yeah, this episode definitely feels like the story genuinely moves, and each character has an arc.
Lots are being revealed.
At the same time, it's also building up towards the ultimate climax of the series.
Well, it's only halfway through. Like, does it feel like a halfway point? Because I mean, remember, there's got 2 more episodes before the climax.
Yes, it feels like it's moving in an exponential curve. So we're about halfway up. So assuming the pace picks up properly in episodes 4 and 5, it should feel like a fairly natural progression.
I thought the voice acting was really outstanding in this episode, though. Like,
yes, it was. As was the music. Music worked really well in this one.
Is it from the Game of Thrones soundtrack, or is it new music?
It's taken from the soundtrack, but I think they put their own little twists on it. So, like, the Forester have their own little theme, which, like, they play the main theme at one point, and they, like, just mix in a little bit of the Forester theme, and it just works really well.
It's not like new music, they've just kind of arranged it differently, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's really good, though. I still say, I don't know, I keep on saying every week, like, oh, you should buy it, it's worth the money, but it's showing me, it's really, I don't know, it's outshone my expectations of it by a lot. It's getting...
I mean, well, I feel like I'm interviewing you two on this, but anyway, like, in terms of, because these are pretty much the only questions I can ask without spoiling, so, in terms of, like, the gameplay aspects, is it pretty much the same as the past two ones, or is it more cutscene oriented, or, like, less,
this
or is that
one
more...
has a few more QTEs, I think. Kind of action. Okay. It has a few more action scenes. And I think there's only 1 or 2 points where you're actually wandering around. Most of it is still the interactive choices. That's what most of the episode is.
Oh yeah, well, so speaking of one last question, like, how does it have more or less like impactful like choices that you can make in this episode than the last one?
More, much.
Because the last one I felt was not as impactful.
And a lot of the decisions that you've made, like even going back to the first episode, they're coming around again. Like you're feeling the hit of those decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
Starting to feel weird, really worried about pledging allegiance to Marjorie. I think that was a big mistake.
I can't get Marjorie to like me. Like, no matter what I do, she's just like... You're spying for me.
They've taken a really weird spin on Marjorie, actually. Like, they've made her into a...
But not to go into spoiler territory.
Yeah, but, she's a very different character to who she is in the show. Obviously, there's the perception of it, because you're playing subservient to Marjorie, as opposed to just seeing the top layer and looking down. But you kind of see this more horrible and actually much more of a player in the Game of Thrones.
You get to see how smart she is,
yes,
really.
You do.
Just how in control she is, and that she really does have a plan, and that she knows what she's doing.
Well, I mean,
on a way less intellectual note, her head is really weird.
Yeah.
Is it just me who thinks that they did her head?
Her head looks really weird. It's her hair, it's like...
weird. Like,
Sometimes the graphics are just like, I'll look at somebody's face, especially if it's an existing actor, and I'm like, what? What is wrong?
I think that they struggled to adapt the real faces of people, especially Kit Harington, who's...
Yeah, and he's only like 5'4" or something, like he's really short, like they didn't...
Like, the words he says doesn't quite match up with the way his face moves. Like, I think it's something to do with the art style, because it's obviously this really weird oil painting type thing.
But it might just be that we've seen these actors so much that, like, that's kind of where we pick it apart, maybe?
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else isn't actually based on a person that we see a lot, so...
Yeah, all the, the original characters are wonderfully done.
Really well voice acted. It's good. Buy it. Buy it if you haven't already. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, I'll play it tomorrow night.
Okay, moving on. Updates and news about the Winds of Winter. Someone who knows what these updates and news about the Winds of Winter are. Take over. Tim, I was looking at.
It's not really going to descend into... Oh my god. I don't know. Well, which updates are you referring to?
Just
I didn't know what we were talking
recent
about.
updates.
Well, George R. R. Martin has confirmed that we are going to see Highgarden and Casterly Rock.
Yeah!
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, which I'm excited about.
I'm pleased about that.
I think that if there is a final battle, it will probably take place at Casterly Rock, because we've already kind of done battles at Winterfell and King's Landing.
I'm not sure if there is a big final. I don't think
I'm saying that if there is, like, that...
I don't think that will... I mean, well... Then again, yes. I mean, because he has been subverting, like, fantasy tropes. So, like, the whole concept of the big final battle is a fantasy trope.
Maybe Cersei will jump off Casterly Rock and hit the rocks at the bottom. That's how she'll end. She'll die.
She'll just get drunk and slip or something.
That's my prediction. She's gonna, like, get backed into a corner on top of Casterly Rock, and then she's gonna have to jump rather than, like, actually go down fighting.
There will be battles, but I don't think there will be... I
definitely think this will add into the the story of Cersei ending up at Castle Rock. That's certainly what I think. Think about what we've talked about at the end of what we think is going to happen for Cersei in the trials and what the results will be. I think that does add up.
Well, I mean, I'm still going for the like Jamie as a Valancourt. There.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe she pushes her. He pushes her.
Maybe it's Brienne.
Yeah.
Maybe Jamie goes this to Sparta and like boots her off the edge, and it'd be great.
Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to Casterly Rock with Jane Westerling because she's there and she's going to be a POV character for.
Is she?
Oh, I thought she was in the prologue, but she wasn't.
Is she there? She's on the way to the crag. She's on the way to the crag.
I thought they were already there.
I know that Jane is in the prologue, but she's not the point of view character. I think that's what George said.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
Because everyone freaked out, they thought she was going to die.
Did he say that she wasn't the point of view character, or did he
She
say
said
that
she was appearing. No one knows whether it's POV or not POV.
Yeah, I think he specifically stated that he didn't say that she was specifically the point of view character. So, she might or she might not be.
But the thing is, like, I thought that she would be at Casterly Rock by now because...
Well, she's on the way to the crag, not Castle Rock.
How come she's only on her way to the crag? Edmure's at Casterly Rock, right?
I thought.
I know Edmund is a pastor.
Right.
I thought that they all kind of like
Gang
put them off
feast,
together.
gang feast for crows down. But
I thought she had to go there for a brief period before
Carry
she
on
got
to-
married again.
No, she just has to stay unmarried for 2 years.
I'm Wikipediaing it. Jane Westerling.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, Danzy. I was trying.
Unknown to Jane, her mother had given her potions against pregnancy under the pretense of fertile potion. Riverrun is besieged shortly after, but the siege is settled peacefully by Sir Jaime Lannister. He tasked Forley Prester with returning Jane to her father, Gawain Westerling, back to the Craig, to avoid tales that her dead husband Robb had given her a child and thus an heir to the north. Jane is to remain unmarried for 2 years and is given a strong escort of soldiers with secret instructions to kill her if there should be any attempt at escape during the travel from Riverrun to the Craig. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
yeah, Edmure's going to Castle Rock, but Jane Westerling's going to Crag.
Okay, why is she going to the Craig?
Because that's where the Westerlings are from.
I thought that she was taken prisoner. The Westerlings were just allowed to like go back.
No, yeah, the Westerlings are because it's she's given back to her father because because the Westerlings still own their land.
Oh, okay.
And she's just given them that she's not allowed to marry for like 2 years.
Maybe that won't be when we see Casterly Rock then.
I'd like to see some dragon action.
Well-
Castle Rock. I think that'd be fun.
Well, you say that. I mean, wait, is Jane Westerling in the same like little convoy that Edmure is in?
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining.
I
it
thought they
could-
were, but from reading that just now, it sounds like they weren't because it
They
they
could be there.
reference Edmure quite a few times that he's rotting in a cell in Casterly Rock.
Yeah, don't
Oh,
they
no.
they meet Jane before the big siege with Edmure? I could have sworn he met her on his way or something.
Well, no, I mean, wasn't Edmure only like isn't Edmure not let free, but like sent in that on the same chapter? The same chapter, because it's like after
Yeah.
the Blackfish has escaped. It's the same chapter.
I didn't think he was rotting in a cell though. I thought he was taken like just to Castle Rock sort of under house arrest.
Because I'm pretty sure he's not like in Castle Rock at that point. Because he does actually appear in that chapter.
I don't know. We don't really know what his living conditions there are. Whether he's actually in a dungeon or whether he's just being kept as like a ward, like a high kind of.
Yeah, I think Jamie said he'd be under house
Yeah,
arrest.
Jamie said sort of like
if he behaved himself.
behaved himself.
Let me look.
Yeah, so I'd pick your rank and station or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar actually. I don't know. We'll probably see Highgarden through. I don't know. Probably maybe Willis or Garland will be a POV, like for.
Oh yeah, he's not at Castle
I
Rock
thought
yet.
he said he wasn't going to add any more POV characters.
Except for prologues and epilogues. So.
Who do you think is going to go to Highgarden if it's not a prologue?
Oh. I mean, there is going to be a big battle at Highgarden soon with the Ironborn attacking.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And and George R. R. Martin did say that Garland and Willis are going to play a bigger role in future books. So
Yay. More Garland.
Yeah.
I like Garland, he's fun.
Garland's good.
I'm Team Willis.
I haven't met Willis yet.
Willis is crippled. Like, Garland's just a badass. Who just...
Oh, Willis.
Well, there you go, everybody. Cripples can't amount to anything. Everybody sitting at home with a disability, according to Tim, you will amount to nothing.
I didn't say that. That was Phil.
Oh, sorry, Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, I said tell that to Bran. You know, he's about to become like fucking pretty much god level. So,
Willis is super smart though. Like he's a good tactician.
Yeah.
I mean, Bran is pretty much.
Didn't Elena say he was really dull? But then she says everyone's really dull.
No, she said Loras was kind of dull and Mace was dull. But...
Bran is becoming the Charles Xavier of Westeros.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. I think Willis is the brains, but Garland is kind of like the sword.
The heart.
Marjorie's the heart. And the vagina.
As for who
Very
will see
important.
High Garden, well, I had a theory, although it's kind of been debunked now because Jane Weston's appearing in the prologue, but the prologue would feature like Willis and Garland dying at the hands of Euron's fleet or something like that. Or High Garden.
They wouldn't have much time to do anything if they all got killed. How would we go against George?
Might happen though, because it kind of seems like the Tyrells are kind of getting in more and more trouble as the series goes on.
I'm worried about Marjorie.
I'm super worried about
Marjorie.
I know who's closest to High Garden right now. It's Sam. Could be Sam.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's an old
Or
town.
because he's in Elton.
Sam just goes for a little trip to High Garden.
Well, they're the Bannermen, aren't they, Old Town? They're like sworn to High Garden, aren't Old
Yeah,
Town?
but now it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't. What?
But no,
Yeah,
when
so if
you
there's a big
become a
battle, they
mace,
might all
doesn't
be called
matter. Well, he's taken the black as well, so he doesn't really have an allegiance.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he's
but you
also
could
being
see-
trained as a maester, so they might be like, okay, we need all the maesters to go to High Garden because people are getting killed and like they need medical assistance or
They
something.
need, like, someone to create fireballs.
We need every
We've got
man
maesters
at
who
High
can
Garden
create
kind of thing.
Yes,
The three.
yes they can.
Mhm.
Maces can make fireballs.
Wait, what?
I'm hoping they can. Like, a
I
team
know
of
they can in
maces.
Skyrim, but
I haven't read
There
that
are
so
maces
far,
in
like,
Skyrim.
there are.
If you get them
You get
mod,
the
yes,
mod,
you
yeah.
can.
They're the
The Greybeards.
yeah, yelling people.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have any more Winds of Winter interesting little niblet?
Well, didn't he say that if he didn't publish it, if he published it before Comic-Con, then he'd go to Comic-Con? I mean, like, that might just mean nothing, but it might mean
This
that...
just in: George R. R. Martin not going to Comic-Con.
Well, there's. I mean, because you know how he's not writing an episode for this season because of the focus. I just went on Winter is Coming. He's not writing an episode for season 6 either. Take that as you will. It might be because he wants to write A Dream of Spring straight after as well, but he won't finish that for another like however many years.
I think we should get ahead of the game and ask him when Dream of Spring is going to be released. Just be the first.
Start asking now. Might as well.
Yeah.
It'll be out maybe by 2020.
A little bit of news that's not really book related, but the Tim, it came out of my mind when Tim said about George writing episodes. Brian Cogman, as in the guy who can actually write episodes of the show, is writing 5 and 6 of this season.
Hooray!
So we've got 2
Oh, wait, what's
episodes of
5 and
Cogman.
6? Is because we've seen the titles of episodes up to 7.
Oh, to 7.
um,
This is the first 3.
Someone else look it up.
It's
Mine.
episode. Wait, I'll try and find it.
But yeah, more Cogman's always a good thing because he.
It's episode 5 or 6 is something is Kill the Boy, which I don't know. Are they doing what is it?
Oh,
Are they doing
be
Fetch Me a
amazing.
Block that late? They're doing Fetch Me a Block quite late then.
Oh my god, if Cogman writes Fetch Me a Block, I'm going to fanboy, like,
Oh yeah, here we go.
my
Title.
entire house.
Title.
That's quite late to do it, though,
Episode-
isn't it?
Well, no, he hasn't been elected Lord Commander yet, has he?
Oh, yeah.
They're still in the Storm Swords.
I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
they haven't
that.
even talked about elections yet.
No, none of that's happened.
I mean, like, I don't even know if Sam's going to go anywhere this season. None of the trailers showed it.
Sam's not going anywhere this season, I don't think. There's been no like news about Old Town or anything.
Well, the thing is, they're cutting
that.
the Highgarden storyline really because the Greyjoys that are invading Highgarden aren't going to be in the show.
Yeah. Balon's still alive.
And there's
What-
no
what are
Willis, and there's no Willis and Garland in the show. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Because they made the Tyrells like really super matriarchal, and so they had to get rid of all the men that are morons.
yeah.
By the looks of it, Loras isn't going to be doing nothing either, because it looks like he's...
It looks like Cersei's having him arrested.
Yeah, he looks great though.
I think
I'm
that
just gonna
guy
find
that
the-
he slept with testifies against him or something.
Yeah, that's what we
I'm
thought.
not looking
Yeah,
forward to
I saw that in the
It's gonna be
trailer.
cool, badly.
So yeah, they're fucking up Loris's character as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they've been doing that
They've
for
been
4
doing that for four
seasons.
seasons. I have to say,
Yep.
there's a character that I really hate their portrayal of. It's definitely
Loras, he is so
I
bad.
actually find it really offensive.
I don't hate
really
the actor. I just don't think that.
I think the actor's
very well.
appalling. I think the writing's really bad.
They've made him into a game type. That's the
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like thought,
Yeah,
what
they
can we
thought
do?
arrogant, gay, let's make him Dame Edna. That's what they thought.
It's the same thing that many straight like TV does with characters that aren't heterosexual. They think we'll start with the fact that they're not heterosexual. That's what we'll start with, and then we'll build on that, rather than make
Just
them a
include it,
person
yeah.
and just include it. Which
Well, a
means
bit more.
everything about him, literally every little single tiny thing, is brought back to the fact he's gay. Which means he never does
Well,
anything.
Well, and
Good
even the
examples.
actor spoke against that, saying Loras is a better character when he's beating people at jousting.
Yeah.
Talking
He's
about
supposed to be like
sleeves on
Jaime
the-
Lannister.
Yeah.
It says a young Jaime Lannister. That's what it says in Storm of Swords. And
Like,
I don't think the
I
show
like in
version
the
is
book. I
that
think
at
the
all.
show version is just appalling.
Well-
It shows how bad that is that in season 3, when they've actually taken storylines away from Loras and given them to Marjorie because Loras couldn't deal with them. That when he has Brienne arrested and then lets her go because he decides actually she's probably innocent. They just replaced it with a kind of Brienne talking to Marjorie, and then Marjorie deciding, oh yeah, that's pretty good, I believe you, because he just couldn't deal with that storyline. They just couldn't think we could write that for him, because that goes against the whole Marjorie's gay best friend thing we're trying to do.
That's basically what he is.
Sorry,
yeah,
guys, I don't usually rant like this, but Loras, it just.
I mean, there's the quote from the book. I think he says it to Tyrion because it's in the Storm of Swords. I think it's Tyrion's first chapter, where Loras is on the Kingsguard and Tyrion passes him on the way to see his father, and he says about the Kingsguard, and he says that something when the sun has set, no candle can replace it, and it's in reference to Renly.
Yeah.
That he can't love anyone after Renly, and the show decided.
They
No,
got over that,
let's-
didn't they?
Let's have him jump into bed with a male
First
prostitute.
person he sees.
just-
basically.
Yeah.
Literally the first person.
He was just so poorly written.
And then in season 4, episode 2, at the wedding, he was eye fucking Oberyn. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
with
was.
someone so blatantly suspicious looking, I have to say. Polliver looks like that you would not trust that man.
Well, that's the whole other thing is because they cut Willis. There's no animosity between the Martells and the Tyrells.
Yeah.
Really, they hate each other. They've been feuding for forever, and then what escalated it was Oberyn crippling Willis, even if it was an accident, and even they got along.
And it seems they cut out all of the women inheriting stuff from Dawn as well, because they have Oberyn Martell's father instead of mother and stuff all mentioned.
Oh yeah, taking them to Castle Rock. They mentioned in the.
It's like Lord Hornwood instead of Lady Hornwood and stuff all up here. Or is that a year?
Maybe they just didn't want to take the time to explain the difference of inheritance.
It's not that complicated. The oldest child gets.
It's not really. It's kind of what we've got now.
It's literally one sentence.
It's not. Oh wait.
Women are seen as equal. Just imagine I'm saying this in a sex.
It's not primogeniture. I'm not sure what it's called. Where it's whoever the oldest one is. Because primogeniture is the oldest son.
Yeah, it's just the oldest, regardless of gender, and then it goes to the next oldest, regardless of gender. Instead of with the Tullys, there's Catelyn, Lysa, and Edmure, where Edmure's the youngest, but he's the only boy, so he gets the inheritance. Whereas if
Yeah.
if the Tullys were in Dorne, then Catelyn would have inherited Riverrun.
Yeah. But anyway, like I was making a point about the episode titles, so shall I just run through them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, go for it.
each episode. Right. Okay. So episode 1 is called the Wars to Come. Episode 2 is called the House of Black and White.
Does it say who's writing and directing each episode?
It doesn't on this.
I think it's
I
just
can click on each. I can
D&D.
click on each one.
It's
Fine.
D&D unless it's Cogman. I
The
think.
Wars to Come is. It doesn't say who wrote it. It says it's directed by Michael Slovis. But actually, yeah, the House of Black and White is Michael Slovis again, directed. Episode 3 is called The High Sparrow. Or just High Sparrow, rather. And that's directed by Mike Mylod. So yeah, none of these directors I'm recognizing.
Yeah, they sound new.
Then episode 4 is The Sons of the Harpy. Again, Mike Mylod. I always said my lord.
My lord, what name?
Episode 5 is Kill the Boy. So yeah, that's
Cogman. It's Cogman episode. It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, because it's got the synopsis here, like for episode 5.
Just made Phil so happy by telling.
I'm not going to go through the
Dog.
synopsis of the previous ones. Like,
No,
you
no,
can
that's
go-
fine.
Episode 5, Cersei plots a dangerous game. Jon swings his sword. Melisandre studies the signs. Tyrion sees the ghosts of the past.
Yeah, that's
So-
definitely
That's
definitely
definitely
Fetch Your Block.
Yeah.
There you go. It's happening.
Yeah.
And episode 6 is Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken.
That must be the Arianne plot given to Ilaria.
The plot, well, the synopsis is Marjorie receives a grim surprise. Jon hears dark tidings. Oh, wait, listen to this part. Winterfell prepares for a wedding.
What?
Doran Martell speaks his mind. So,
That might be Ramsay
Yeah,
and
I think-
whoever they're
I
getting
think-
to be
yeah.
Jane.
are they going to go with Sansa? Because
No.
Please,
I think it's either going to be Sansa or Miranda.
Sansa.
Which-
I don't think they can play Miranda off as one of the Stark girls. I don't. They might actually be going
She
with
doesn't
Sansa.
deserve getting rescued.
Well, at this point, they don't. Sansa hasn't revealed herself to everyone else, other than like. So they might. It might be they won't like say this is Sansa. They might still pretend like she's Peter Baelish's niece.
No,
So
she
maybe-
revealed herself to some of the lords in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't trust the people, the Freys, do they, or the Boltons? So
No.
So are we saying that it's Sansa
That makes
Stark
sense.
disguising herself as Len Stone, disguising herself as Sansa Stark?
The dude disguised as the dude.
Or maybe Arya.
And episode 7 is called The Gift. And oh no, there must be an error here because they repeat. Oh, actually no, wait. Here's the synopsis. In Marine, Dany must compromise or flee. Stannis comes into trouble on his way south. No. Brienne finds shelter in the woods. Arya is faced with her destiny.
That's a really Brienne
Well, the
finds
gift-
shelter in the woods. That sounds like a really interesting storyline.
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
hope it's literally.
Wait,
just
what
a
did
dream,
Ramsay say?
I believe.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say the gift is that area right below
Yep.
the wall that belongs to the Night's Watch. It's like
Yeah.
however many
well,
kilometers that extend
it's-
southward.
John gives it to the Wildlings.
Yeah,
Does
I remember.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I thought Stannis
When
did,
they,
but I don't remember.
Oh well.
John and Stannis
when
do
they
it
said
together.
Marjorie receives an unwelcome
They do it together.
surprise,
Confirmed,
that's her being
Adonis.
Not unwelcome. A grim surprise. It says.
Do you think that's her being arrested? Because that's quite early. It's episode
quite
6.
early, episode 6.
Maybe she just
It
gets
could,
threatened.
it could be. Well, you
That
see.
might just be-
You see an episode. No, sorry, not an episode. In the trailer, there's Marjorie's like. I think she's hugging Tommen because she's sitting down, but Tommen's standing up. I think she's
hugging
hugging. It looks like. And like she looks like really worried or scared or something.
He's probably
It's-
asking him
it's-
to free Loras or something.
It's
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what I
it's
was-
in the trailer. Oh yeah, that might be. It might be the grim surprise being Loras being arrested. Or
Yeah.
Or being burnt if he goes to fight a Dragonstone.
He's not going to Dragonstone.
He
don't-
won't. That's,
Because they
just
can't bring
bear the
themselves
idea
to
of
make him a
making
warrior.
Nobody's at Dragonstone anymore though, because even Selyse and
Well, no, Selyse
Marine.
wasn't in Dragonstone in the book.
It's,
No, but I just mean in the show, like, everybody's gone from Dragonstone. There's nobody
Well,
there.
unless they add the badass that is Roland Storm, but
They won't.
hopefully they do. I know they won't, but they should. They really should.
well, we don't know if Roland Storm's still alive. I hope he's still alive because he's great. He's a great minor character.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, he's one of the few bastards that Stannis actually likes.
Yeah. Well, I suppose when you are like one of the best warriors in his army, it's quite hard for him not to like him.
well, I don't think he doesn't like John. I mean, Melisandre pretty much says he likes John because he said like, and John says like, I know the only friend to behead me twice.
Yeah.
This is basically Stannis' way of like saying he has affection for you because he only friends to behead you twice.
I wonder if they're gonna send Davos off, like if he's gonna...
Yeah, like the Mandalese.
Yeah.
I don't know if
they
they're
didn't
gonna
really
do
have
that.
Mandalese in before.
So they weren't really in the books before.
No, but you do get dead. Is it Willis Mandalay?
Willis,
yeah.
yes.
Is it Willis Mandalay? Yeah. You know, it's the Red Wedding in the book, and that,
Oh.
And he's
I know,
in-
you know.
Oh, I'm calling it now. You know what's gonna happen? Is Sam is gonna reveal to Davos that Rickon and Bran are still alive, and he's gonna go and try and find Rickon, maybe?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Davos
does-
might like find
does-
out.
does Sam know that? Does Sam know that Rickon's alive?
He knows the Stark boys are both alive. He knows
He
that they
knows-
weren't killed because they were supposed to be
Well, no,
killed
he-
together. So it's
It's
kind
true.
of
He only saw Hodor and Mira and Jojen and Bran.
I mean, John knows that Bran's alive now, so in the show at least.
Does he?
Which, yeah, because like in the
Yeah.
books, he freaks out when he thinks Arya might be alive, and he like threatens to break his vows and stuff. If he knew Bran was alive, he would go out and find him. That just doesn't
Well,
fit with his
he kind of
character.
he kind of tried to like he went to like Castus Keep, and even though that was a kind of separate mission, but yeah, they didn't see each other, which is weird. They just missed each other.
Well, no, Bran could have gone to Jon, but he didn't because Jojen is like, no, we have to keep moving forward, and Jon will just take you back.
No,
Yeah, he would have.
Jojen's actual lines were, "This didn't happen in the books, Bran."
No, I know it didn't happen in the books, but I'm saying...
No, that was Jojen's line.
I have to say,
Jojen
I'm quite
said that.
glad Jojen's dead in the series.
Aww.
I thought he was not a very good actor, I've got to say.
Hey, the actor looks like me. That's
No,
He was in my uni the other week.
was he?
was it?
He's like
Yeah,
22.
I bumped into Sedontos on the street as well. I keep meeting these people.
Yeah, we're
Did he
still
give
not
you a
ready.
necklace and tell you to run?
But anyway,
Yeah, we sort of
Moving on
veered
to
off
it.
into show predictions, but
well, the show
More or
stuff was kind of related because we were talking about Tyrell stuff as well.
it's true,
So
yeah.
I mean, with the Highgarden stuff, we were talking about Loras and like what they've done to Loras in the show versus Loras in the. But,
Yeah, we're totally on topic. We're on topic. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, any other tidbits about either Winds of Winter or Season 5 that anyone has at the back of their brain? Because I don't. I ain't got nothing.
Do we think they'll be including Marjorie's cousins and stuff? Because she seems to have these vague extras in the background.
Yeah, there are a lot of Tyrell sort of girls just hanging about.
I think they'll just stay as extras. I don't think any of them will get names.
She does have like 15 or so like handmaidens that all wait on her though. Like she has a ton
Yeah,
of-
she has like loads of extras.
she has a whole
Right,
entourage.
Yeah, maybe Mira Forrester will appear.
Oh,
That would be so cool if they did that, like,
little
actually
added.
added Mira Forrester in.
Hmm.
That would be quite cool.
That would be a spoiler though, to because it shows that she survives. But I have to have a little note on her, conditional, make the right choices, and I'll be here.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward a lot to what they'll do with Marjorie next season. I just hope they don't just give us a repeat of what she's done in season 3 of her trying to seduce Tommen in that quite obvious way. Because I think they've done that with Joffrey, and I think if they did it again, it's not very interesting to see it twice. Just
Well,
Yeah, it
Oh,
makes
yeah,
her less
well-
intelligent.
I mean, put it this way: the synopsis for episode 3 mentions. It says Queen Marjorie enjoys her new
I
husband,
know.
and
I don't know
it's
what
like, what
that
the hell
means.
does that mean? Enjoys
she-
her new husband. So I mean, how old is Tommen in the show universe.
2012, 13?
Yeah, about 13 or 14 by now.
In the books,
Yeah.
he's only 8.
So they can't do anything sexual
can't.
because that's against UK broadcasting laws, which is the same reason why they made Daenerys like 18 in the show.
Yeah, but HBO is an American company, though.
No, but that's the reason they couldn't broadcast it. I thought that was weird as well. They wouldn't broadcast it in the UK, and they wouldn't let British actors be in it if they were playing characters that were below the age of consent, which is 16. So he's not allowed to do anything sexual if his character is below the age of 16. So unless, of course, they've.
So that's why I don't know what
Damn it!
influence
We're not gonna get any sexual scenes of Sansa. Shit.
Oh, yeah, it depends on
yeah.
character. Character's like 15, so maybe in like a few seasons or something. But...
Maybe in the last season. Maybe it'll end with just it'll so the White Wolf come in and kill everyone. Credits play and it's just a title screen that comes up and says, "And you've been waiting all the seasons for this." And it's just sexy with Sansa.
Just a bare breasts. Anyways.
Best ending ever.
Oh, you're excited about the new season now, aren't you, Phil?
Oh, what with Ramsay Sansa? Yeah, Ramsay
Oh,
Sansa.
no.
Ramza.
Oh,
Ramsa.
Ramza.
Oh wow.
Ramsan.
Samri. Oh.
Theon,
No, Ramza.
Theon getting her ready and all that. It's gonna be great.
Oh.
Get
I
it
remember
ready.
in the books there was a couple of off lines from Theon's point of view, like thinking like if he behaved himself as
Yeah.
Eddard's ward, he would end up marrying Sansa.
Yeah.
But did he actually want to, though? I never got...
I think he just wanted to be Ned Stark's son. I don't think he actually cared.
I think he
about
just wanted to be somebody's son because
Oh.
nobody wanted him.
No. No one really wants him now.
that.
No,
Ramsay does.
Ramsay wants him.
In a creepy sort of way.
I think you'd rather not be wanted.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would want to be wanted by Ramsay.
Bad attention is better than no attention.
Well, you say that, but I mean, like, think about the amount of show fans he has. It's kind of creepy. In the whole like, it's kind of like 50 Shades of kind of grey kind of shit.
50 Shades of Bolton.
Oh.
50 Shades of Flame.
50 Shades of Major.
Well, when someone can fight an army of heavily armored and armed soldiers topless with 2 knives.
Why was
doesn't
he
get
covered in
followed?
blood? I was all like, has he killed Miranda or something?
I know. I
No,
was
because
thinking-
he had to cut his way to the room that they were in, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to fight.
I don't know why, or I guess
Why didn't Oscar
in the
just throw
show.
an axe at him?
Yeah, just throw an axe at him.
It takes him a while to unlock the door. I can't
Yeah.
unlock this lazy. I'm fiddling with it right.
Man, I guess I should just wait while you unlock that door and not and stop you.
Yeah, the wrong key. Oh wait, it's fine.
And then it's like, oh no, dogs! Ah!
If she had like crossbowmen and stuff, they could just shoot the dogs.
Yeah.
That scene was really quite funny.
Because they built up to it for ages, like Series 3.
It was
ending
that
epic.
acting from...
Yeah, the
beyond that.
payoff wasn't very satisfying for the ending of three.
It was a pointless scene. But the only bad scene from that episode. Anyway, where were we? I've lost track.
I have no idea, honestly.
Well, Michael and John, what are your predictions for the Tyrells in both the books and the
Okay.
series?
Okay, Michael, you can pick that.
Okay, for the books,
We'll do one at once.
Okay. For the books, we think that Marjorie will be found guilty at the trial, while Cersei will be found innocent. But we don't think that necessarily means she'll be executed because, Mace Tyrell's brought his big army to the city, and we think.
I don't think they tolerate anyone executing Marjorie, so I think, as we thought, it would end up in some sort of big kind of Uber riot.
Like the common folk, the Faith
the
versus the Lannisters and the Tyrells.
And I think Marjorie would most likely be killed in the ensuing chaos, stray arrow kind of thing, or like literally just get crushed by the crowd or something. And then
Cersei makes her
and
escape.
then Cersei makes her escape to Casterell, with or without Tommen. I'm not sure how that would work.
Because I just don't see where Marjorie in the books will go from here.
No, I don't
Will they
know.
marry her off again or something? Because I think that gives Highgarden a reason to sort of turn against the Lannisters
Yeah.
finally. I think that, Olenna, when we meet her, will be justifiably pissed off by all of this. And I just don't think that works if Marjorie survives, which makes me really worried for poor Marge.
That's what we think. Cersei will be found innocent because otherwise they won't do the trial with Marjorie. Does that make sense?
Clegane Bowl must happen.
I don't think it will.
I want the Game Bowl to happen so badly.
Well, what happened in the series? I'm not sure if they'd kill off Natalie Dormer in the series. She's so popular.
I don't know. She's really popular, but she is really good. I don't know.
I really hope they don't perform the Walking Dead trap of, oh dear, characters are popular, we can't kill them.
Yeah, that would be
Darrell Dixon.
I just think they have to. I know everyone wants to see Marjorie's trial, but Marjorie won't be guilty of a high treason or adultery of the king if she's not legally married to the king, if Tommen's not the king. So surely they'll have to do Cersei's trial first, and she'll have to be found innocent.
Well, you'd think that Tommen as the king would just be able to kind of intervene.
Yeah. But they did that in the epilogue, didn't they?
He's not able to in the book, though.
Oh, that's true.
In the epilogue, they were all like, you can't do that because then no one would trust her and stuff.
It's because, what is it? Because the Faith holds a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because it has a small army camped in King's Landing.
I just think it's too convenient for them both to be found innocent.
Yeah, I mean, because it's implied that Marjorie will be found innocent and so will Cersei. And so I think he's going to do a bit of a twist and find Marjorie guilty.
Yeah,
well, she is based on a character that was found guilty and her head was chopped off.
Yeah.
And she played that character too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she did a really good job.
That's probably why they casted her.
Yeah. And she almost didn't take the part. She did interviews about it, and they had to convince her it wasn't the same character.
Yeah.
But
they had to lie straight to her face.
It kind of is.
It is. They are basically the same. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd say that Marjorie is probably more politically...
Yeah, she's nicer as well.
She's nicer, than Anne Boleyn, but...
Our other little thing... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you go.
Other thing for the show, we thought this isn't just like we're predicting, more something we kind of thinking they had to do, really, about giving Marjorie some sort of goal or aim, because I know she said before, oh yeah, I want to be the queen, but, you know, surely they're going to give her something else, because otherwise her plot is just going to stop. And why does she want to be the queen? Like, I assume that she has to have some other aims, some other goals, something she wants to do. Well, even if it's just, I want to get rid of Cersei. Which would make Cersei again more sympathetic, and I know they.
What do you mean when you say get rid of? Do you mean kill or have a shit
just
off
have her
somewhere?
removed in someone? I think.
I don't think she wants. I don't think the Tyrells want to get rid of Cersei. I mean, the Tyrells are just opportunists. They just want power.
Yeah,
but I think
Marjorie, because you know that Marjorie, Pycelle starts visiting her in the books, and Cersei gets all freak out, paranoid about it. As I think that there might be meetings with her and Pycelle, sort of being like trying to get all the small council on her side. If there is a small council, and it's not just Cersei and a mirror or something, and a cup of wine.
I don't know.
So I took it to myself.
Oh yeah, that's a point.
I just think they have to do something else with Marjorie.
They should do something else.
Otherwise, they'll be pulling a Shay and have all this build up, and then she's literally just there, not doing anything.
Yeah, if we just have her bumping into Cersei accidentally a few times, that'll be
really annoying.
Because they picked her up so much.
And that's something I just realised. Like, what are they going to do with the small council in season 5? Because are they actually going to have Mace Tyrell in the council? Because Cersei dismisses him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Because she does need a small council or something. It can't just be her by herself.
Unless, of course, they miss out loads of those scenes, which I'll be really upset if they do.
Well, will it just be her and Qyburn then? Because Qyburn's put on the small council.
Because
she only knows 3 people in the whole world.
Like, the small council at the end of Feast of Crows is a very, very new small council.
She just grabs a load of random people.
The Bastard of... Is it the Bastard of Blackwater? Is that
Griff
his name?
Mark.
Arian Waters. I didn't hate his name. Arian Waters.
Yes, Arian Waters.
And yeah, he basically takes the ships and fucks off.
Cersei not at her finest hour.
Yeah, I think he makes his own pirate fleet, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, because that's in the second. On the first Ariane chapter, it's mentioned that there's a new pirate king or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's alluded to be Orain Waters. So yeah, he makes his own little pirate fleet.
Yeah, they're just wandering up and down the narrow sea, aren't they?
They're at
Just
the
hanging out, having a good
Stepstones, I
time.
believe.
Sorry, there were?
They're at the Stepstones, I think. I could be wrong on that. Someone might
Oh,
correct.
okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure who she'll interact with next season. As far as Marjorie,
It can't just be her, Tommen, and Cersei. I mean, I'm glad that they're bringing Elena back, though. I'm really glad they're doing that because Elena was really good in the series.
I'm not sure what Elena's going to be doing though.
Yeah, they
She'll
kind of.
probably just have to fill in for about 7 other characters.
More walking through the gardens.
I don't know. Every scene with her is really great, though, so I don't mind if they have filler with Elena.
I don't really mind either, as long as it's not, just poorly done. But
I mean,
and, like,
Elena Cersei filler would just be a giant, like a bitch off, would be hilarious.
that would be so funny.
The amount
Well,
of
no,
sass coming from both characters would just
I said
drown
before.
the audience.
I said before season 4 that there should be a scene between what's it, Marjorie, Cersei, and Ilaria Sand, and just them just going at each other. Not in that way, but.
But why would Ilaria hate Marjorie? Oh yeah, because she's.
I was hoping that they would bring the kind of Martell Tyrell hatred dynamic into the show. But
No, I think they just keep up on Cersei in the show version. 'Cause they have no
Yeah.
reason to hate each other here.
She has enough multiple personalities to defend herself, though. It's fine. She's a whole team by herself.
no, well,
Trial by
I hope-
7 is just gonna be her.
Yeah.
Just Cersei, like a sword, and just taking out 7 people. Or just she
That's what I-
morphs into 7. Crazy.
I hope Elena gets another scene where she basically tells Mace to fuck off. like in she did at the Purple Wedding. last
Oh yeah,
week.
he's like,
some
oh
affection.
hello, mother, and she's like, fuck off.
Fuck off, Mace, the adulterer.
I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what happened. He's like, oh, okay, then I'll just go.
It was great.
Yeah.
I think everyone hates a bit too much on Mace Tyrell. I quite like him, really.
I think they don't hate enough.
Right.
Well, no, comparing to the other fathers in the
Yeah,
series,
he's
like
a good dad.
Tywin and Balon,
Stannis.
who
Yeah,
at least
did
he
he
cares.
go defend his
Wait, did
home
you
and
say
his son?
Stannis?
Yeah, he's a lousy father.
Stannis is a great father.
Stannis is a shitty father. Right, okay, let's have a look at what Stannis does as a dad. He kind of leaves his daughter to the presence of his awful, awful wife,
Who he knows
who he
beats her.
knows is horrible to her. And yeah, that's basically it.
And he never sees her.
And he never sees her, and he takes no interest in her life, and
Super neglect.
doesn't
It's no
involve
wonder they
her.
picked her from
Okay.
Matilda, is it? The
So,
broad name
no,
Matilda was...
I think he's a fairly lousy father, I'm being honest.
Well,
Don't think-
Stannis literally says that if he's to die, they will make his daughter make
That's
his
more of
daughter
a duty
free.
thing.
That is
It's not a
fucking-
duty thing, again, it's because
Right.
he thinks it's fair, not because he cares.
I think he cares.
I
I hope he cares. I think he cares more in the books than he does in the series.
I think he cares. I just don't think he's a very good dad.
I think he cares more in the books than he does in the series.
It's not the worst, I just think.
Really? I would argue the opposite because I mean in the series he's shown more love towards like when because when Selyse wants to like punish her and like I think
Yeah,
it's
it's all like
episode 2, and he
adoption.
says like she's my
Yeah,
daughter,
but-
you will not touch her.
Yeah, but he only goes to when he goes to see her, he's physically uncomfortable. You can actually see.
Yeah, but
it.
he's like that with everybody.
Yeah, but
True.
she's his daughter.
He doesn't know what a hug is. It's like, why are you
It's like-
squeezing me with your arms?
And he
It's a
only
hug.
stays
I'm
there
hugging
for,
you,
like, 3
Stannis.
minutes.
There's actually
Even
more
though-
of that.
Yeah.
And he gives her the basis of like the most menial little small talk, like, "How are you? Weather's nice, isn't it? Better go."
Bye.
Yeah, but
It was
Stannis
like-
is just like that with everybody.
Yeah,
Like, he
Stannis
just
doesn't
know
really
how,
understand.
he just doesn't know how to like show emotion, and that's not
Yeah.
like just with his daughter. That's with everyone.
Yeah, but if you compare like Mace to like Tywin and Hoster Tully and
Balon
Balon
Greyjoy.
Greyjoy,
Yeah,
You know,
Balon
you know,
Greyjoy is a pretty simple father.
Lord Tarley. like,
Lord
that-
Randall Tarley, I think
Yeah.
he's a way better father than all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doesn't
He
mean-
constructed a new Tower of the Hand instead of going to help his sons in Highgarden when they were being
Well-
attacked.
He abandoned his siege of Storm's End and brought an entire army down when he heard his daughter was in trouble.
Why did he go to Storm's End at all?
Because Cersei told
I
him
don't know.
to.
He's not saying he's very clever.
No,
But
Because
I
he's-
didn't say he was smart. Cersei told him to, so he went. He couldn't refuse.
Because of his fucking pride, you know, Storm's End defeated.
a lot of
once.
pride, but Ned had a lot of honour.
Yeah, I think he does care. He's just not smart, and he doesn't actually know what's best for his children.
Yeah, I think he tries.
Unlike Tywin, who is, he's smart, but he doesn't care about his children.
Yeah.
I think that's his little redeeming feature.
Yeah.
Mace-
He's not a good guy, but he has a
Well, no, I think Mace Tyrell's like as good as they go. Just he's not any good at being.
He's just a
good.
moron.
He's just not good at being good. So.
I don't know. I think the only child he cares about is Marjorie.
Hang on, tinfoil. Maybe. Euron and Mace are the same person, right?
Shut up.
And as a result, he doesn't give a shit about Garland or Willis.
How did Euron put
'cause he's
all?
gonna go and
No,
kill them.
He's actually the
That's-
dusky one, right? Yeah.
That's Phil. That's like Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious and Chancellor Palpatine level of like conspiracy. That like he's organising the war from both sides. Just
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Mm.
You will hate on Mace
Gotcha,
Tyrell.
yeah.
He's gonna come out as the true mastermind behind everything.
How did he gain all that weight so fast? Then take it off.
Not back to school.
It's not.
it's a fat suit.
What is this fat suit made out
It's a
of?
it's a fat
Slumber.
suit of Westeros. It's made out of pig skin and
That would smell so bad.
not if
Oh.
you stuffed it full of herbs.
I mean, well, as far as the Euron stuff goes, because this ties into Garland and Willis. I mean, I had this because I mentioned the theory that that Garland would be attacked by Euron's fleet and die, and was the result. I mean, I came up with this sick theory that Euron would somehow kill Garland, chop off his legs, and then send them to Willis.
That's
Because-
grim,
because
but not
it's-
something
because he's a-
completely
because
out
he's
of
That
the
sounds
ordinary.
like George.
Because he's a cripple.
Sounds like
you know.
Euron.
It sounds
Yeah.
like
Well, I
something
don't know.
Euron would
Is
do.
Euron that sick? Do we know if he's that sick?
Was
Yeah.
it implied that
yeah.
Euron
Yeah.
abused the damp hair as a child or something?
Yep. It's implied because something about the rusty
Some
hinge.
sort of rusty door or something.
Yeah, I think he sexually abused him or something.
What?
They're
Yeah,
a
no,
really,
I can get that first time. I had to reread it, and I was like, oh, right, yeah.
they're a
I
really, really dark family.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
In many ways, the darkest family out of the main families, anyways.
Oh, I think the Iron Islanders as a species need just to be cold.
Are they a species?
I don't know.
As a culture.
As a group of
That's a
people.
race.
they're just not
That's a
fair.
race. Let's
They
get
have
some
a bad
genocide.
culture,
Let's get some
just saying.
genocide up in here.
Of all the people, they have no redeemable qualities.
What's their words? We don't say.
We do not say,
Well,
No,
Theon and Asha do, but the rest of
Yeah,
them...
because they're the least Iron Islandish.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Like-
Ash is pretty Iron Islandy.
Yeah, but she
then
wanted to bring
realised
food
that
for her
actually-
people. That was her proposal to
Well,
keep
yeah,
food,
well,
They
outright.
totally rejected it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So,
we want to
Ash's
rape and
idea
pillage.
is- Yeah, Ash's idea is to reform the Iron
Yeah.
Storm.
Yeah. He had really referenced to it. And they
Hey
were like-
guys, maybe we shouldn't rape and pillage and actually
Achieve some stuff.
yeah, and grow food on our own land instead of stealing it. They're like, no.
That's
like-
it.
No. They didn't
No.
long-term political aims. They went short-term all the way.
Oh wait, who else is a good Iron? Right, the Reader, Roger Carlo.
Oh, yeah.
All the Harlaws are very Iron Island.
Yeah, but again, they're not very traditionally Iron Irish, are they? They really
And then you
do,
have
like-
Christopher Botley, who's second in command of the Friend Zone,
Yeah.
just below.
Oh.
level.
Oh, he was annoying though.
Oh, I liked him. I thought he was sweet.
Yeah.
As sweet as a book character that only appears 3 sentences can be.
I thought he was too nice for an Iron Islander.
Yeah, again, he was too nice. He wasn't very Iron Irish, was he?
He acted
Christopher,
too.
I was saving my virginity for you, Botley.
Yeah.
It's
I was
honestly one
just
of-
like, oh, I mean, yeah, me too. I am totally a virgin.
Totally, yeah.
I was half a virgin.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a
They
six.
marry her off and use to seal as proxy. Or
I think that's so funny.
They use a sea
I
cow.
want to see the whale, the wedding of her.
Do we think they'll do the King's Moot? Because I'm not sure
No.
they're doing any Ironborn stuff.
No, I don't
I
think.
don't
they
think
will.
so.
I don't
We'll
think
just have one scene in episode 10 of sort of Aisha and Balon sitting there going, "You're right, yeah, I get some tea or something." We're still here.
No, I am pretty much everyone's because they had the Legion scene in season 3, and how Balon was actually mentioned. I was kind of surprised because it seemed like they'd forgotten about him. And they had Rob and Joffrey die, but Balon is still alive at the end of season 4. And I don't think he's appearing in season 5. Like, I think Balon is actually going to survive to the end of the show because I've just forgotten about him.
Yeah.
Just one shot at the end of him, just sort of looking around and going like, oh, okay.
I don't think I was meant to live this long.
Yeah.
No.
It's just like, it makes Stannis and Melisandre look really weird because their scheme didn't work. The 3 people weren't killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would die
Although
this season.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's appearing this season.
Maybe you'll just hear like a letter, by the way, he's dead.
Yeah, by the way, he's dead.
Isn't that basically how they do it in the books, though? Like, you just hear it from various sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it implied that Melisandre's magic killed him? Sort of like snap the
but
bridge, or was
there
it implied that Euron killed him?
It's implied that Euron killed him. I think it's because I've argued this with people before about the whole kind of cause and effect thing. Like, there's no. It's like kind of like a rain dance kind of thing, or I'll say now, I will clap 3 times and it will rain tomorrow. And if it rains tomorrow, you say, oh, me clapping caused the rain. It was kind of like that with Melisandre burning the leeches. So the theory is that she foresaw the deaths in the flames, and then decided, oh, okay, I'm going to play this trick with Stannis, so show I have more power than I actually have.
But in reality, if you declare yourself as a king, you're probably just going to get killed, and that's how they died.
That's just why Sam is doing so well. I think he might actually live the entire way through with Sam.
Sam, do you think?
Yeah, I think he's one of the few characters I think might actually survive the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually, yeah.
There aren't many that I think will, but I think he is.
It's always the people you think won't survive that do, like Sansa. I think if you'd asked me, like, during the first book if Sansa's gonna live, I would have said probably not, but...
I think Arya will die, though. I think Sansa will live and Arya will die. Because there's that theory that Arya will be sent to kill Sansa.
I don't think so.
I think it's pretty out.
Well, I think that they can't possibly do it in this show, can they? Because everything's too sped up.
No, I'm pretty sure because the actor who plays Balon Greyjoy is appearing in a miniseries this year, so I don't think. I think he would have been. I mean, you say like they could do it through letters, but I mean on TV they have a rule. I think it's like show don't tell. And so with a character death like that, especially one of the kings, I don't think they would have to do it kind of through visual means.
Maybe they could just zoom out from the table with the letter open on it. That would be showing it.
Just have like a really shoddy prologue. By the way, Balon's dead.
By the way, Balon died.
By the way, Balon died. It's very sad.
Yeah, with this whole plot, you messed it up. Well.
Using deleted scenes. Promise.
Yeah. Honest, guys.
Oh, there's a really good Tyrell deleted scene from like season 2, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
I was really
it's
sad
between Loras and Marjorie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite good.
Oh, I saw that. That was.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
That was really good.
See, that's where they could have gone right with Loras's character.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think they
But
probably
thought,
cut that
that'll-
because they wanted to have him sleep with the male prostitute in the next season.
Yeah. I mean, like, it actually gave us some motivation for Renly as well. The sort of, like, I think she's all like, oh, I think he did.
Oh, I think,
and,
it brought back Renly as being a bit less, like...
As opposed to just doing what Loras told him to. For some reason, because Renly is so malleable.
I think it will. Is it implied in the books that the Tyrells were kind of like using him as a puppet? I think it kind of is.
I thought it was implied that Mace just sort of went, oh, this seems like a good idea. Yeah, let's support him.
None
That
of the
sounds
ends
like
did
Mace.
Because if Mace did that, surely Olenna would be able to stop him.
Well, no, it said that he didn't listen to him. That she should have hit him
that's
more.
a bit out of character, though, isn't it? Like, she seems to do what she says, and seems to be able to control him every other time.
No, I think when Olenna said like, "Oh, we shouldn't have joined up with the," what was it?
People on the roads, right?
With Renly, I think she was probably lying to kind of say, because there was no way that she could have foreseen that Renly would have lost. I mean, because Renly had a fucking huge army. That no one could have foreseen the Shadow Baby, to be honest.
No, unless you were a shadow, like a red priest yourself, and knew that Melisandre was Stannis' bitch.
That's why Renly's death was so cheap. Like, there's no way he could have avoided that.
He just used a cheat code. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah. The sad victim of some OP
there is a way he
shit.
could have avoided it. He could have sworn fealty to Stannis. Then he would have avoided his own death.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but like, how is he, like, what was his thought process? Like, oh, if I don't join Stannis, I'm gonna be murdered tonight by a shadow baby. Like, there's no way he could have...
Why you don't fuck with Stannis?
Well,
To be fair, if you get up against Stannis, you do expect the worst.
I mean, like, there's no way he could have known about it. There's absolutely no way. Because, like, he had the bigger army, there's no reason that he shouldn't have won the next day. So
Stannis would have just ground his teeth. Like, he knew that no matter how big the army was, Stannis would just look at them, grind his teeth, and they'd all drop to their knees. Like, he wouldn't... size wouldn't matter against Stannis.
Because people loved Renly. Renly was really charismatic, and everybody liked him.
Which they didn't do in the series at all.
No, I don't think he's that likable.
No, the entire thing they did was just... Loras told him to, which makes his entire motivations based on his relationship, and by extension his sexuality. It was so weakly done.
It's true.
Well, that's another thing as well, because they fucked up with Loras with making his sexuality the extent of his personality. They did the same thing with Renly, and to a degree they did with Oberyn up till episode 7 when he had to talk with Tyrion.
It was just a more interesting version of it, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, no, when you have your two basic bisexual stereotypes, you have they don't exist and they're massive sluts, and they sort of avoided the first one by sort of like face palming into the second one, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was just one that people wanted to see.
Yeah, that's just sort of what they did. And because I think there was a sort of maybe a race element in there. They sort of like, oh, they're Latino, they're fiery and spicy and passionate. I'm not saying there definitely was, but I got like maybe a little hint of that.
To be fair, I think Oberyn was kind of like that in the books. It's just
he was. I did it.
There wasn't focus on it as much. It was more focused on I'm here to avenge my sister.
Yeah, and his passionate personality made him take risks, which led to his overall death. So I'm giving it a pass because it was actually relevant to the character.
I liked Oberyn. I thought they did a really good job.
I think he did. I think Oberyn was fine, but I think Loras and Renly were not good. And Renly when he was by himself, like when he was talking with Catelyn, that was fine.
No, but that scene he had with Ned in season 1 was like,
that was awful. He's supposed to be like Robert, isn't he?
He looked like he was like wet inside.
Yeah,
he really did.
I love Renly.
No, I love it. In the books, he's amazing. In the series, it's all like he's not a king. What am I doing? It's like, oh, come on, Renly.
Well, no, I swear, in season 2 with Renly, they
Yeah, with Renly.
Oh wait, are we still staying on topic here? It's kind of related to the Tyrells.
Still Tyrells.
He married his wife. And fucked another one.
But in season 2, when he has the confrontation with Stannis, it's more obvious that they're trying to play off Renly as the kind of good guy in the scenario, the one you want to root for, whereas in the books it's a lot more ambiguous. You don't really know.
Really, you just want Catelyn to be okay because she's the point of view character.
Well, she's a point of view character.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Renly, I think, was more self-motivated in the books.
Sorry, say that again.
Renly, I think that he was more self-motivated. I'm not sure I'd call it selfish, but he was sort of like, well, I want it, and I don't think Stannis is very good, so I'm just going to take it.
Yeah, I think it was sort of like that. I think it was like that in the television show as well, but I think that Loras was more of the push. Whereas...
No, because they deleted the scene. Yeah. They had the scene where they went, oh, I bet you thought about it, but they deleted it.
Which is a big shame. So if you haven't seen that scene, go watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
Although it really is undermined when he sleeps with that prostitute later.
I know, it really is.
I can't... And, of all the prostitutes, we've got to say, of all the most, suspicious-looking ones, Oliver has got to be the most...
Oliver, not Oliver.
Oliver, is it Oliver? Right.
Oliver's the guy that R.A. kills.
I always confuse them. I'm sorry, guys. But he looks like he runs straight to, someone else to tell on you.
He does.
He really does. I'm just saying.
So what we're saying
and,
is...
he's just a sort of a male version of Roz. Basically.
Male version of what?
Roz. Which makes me thinking them killing off Roz is a big mistake. I thought they were going to use her to substitute Sedontos because we had or Marillion that we hadn't seen. I thought she was going to be like Peter Baelish, be like, oh, you betrayed me, so he'll frame her. But they didn't. They just sort of botched it and had a randomly shot.
Yeah, that was sad. I thought that could have been used more. So slightly off topic.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think? What are you looking for? What do you think is going to happen in the next season? Then?
Yeah, the Tyrells. What do you think?
The Tyrells. Marjorie.
It's going to get a lot more screen time. That's all I can say.
Well, we've mentioned this before, but Loras is going to be because you can kind of see it in the trailer because there's a bit where
it's like running at someone.
some of the sparrows are there, and Oliver, is it Oliver or Oliver?
Oliver, I think.
is sitting in a chair, and you can see Loris is like running towards him, and then he's like held back by.
I don't think it's a love will burn for 1,000 years kind of running towards that.
No, I don't think it is.
No, I think he's like, oh, Oliver's admitting to something.
Yeah. I think he's confessing, and then Loris. Do you think Cersei sort of like is using Oliver as like a sort of cattle black substitute to get Loris arrested?
Possibly, like that's the thing. Like, are they replacing Loris with Marjorie in that regard?
I don't know. Like,
Because I think
or are they
Marjorie will have to
playing
be
off?
arrested.
Or are they playing off Oliver as a prostitute, like someone who's had sex with Marjorie, even though like he's pretty much Oliver has stated that he's like completely gay, not into women.
Yeah, but the person he's based off of, the singer from medieval times, he was supposedly having an affair with George Boleyn, and they said he was sleeping with Anne Boleyn anyway. So.
Oh, okay. So that could work.
Yeah.
I didn't think that, but so.
Well, I mean, if they're using Oliver as a substitute for what, but they might be using Lancel for that. So.
Well, I don't think they would be using Lancel as a substitute. I don't think they'll be using Lancel as a substitute for having sex with Marjorie. I think they probably will use. They might use Oliver instead of that, and that's why Loris is like lunging towards him.
Yeah.
Do you think both of them could be
Loris is pretty hot-headed. Like, it's just in his character to kind of act first and ask.
apparently.
Well, he is in the book.
No,
But in the
it's
book, he's supposed to be like Jamie.
Because he's about to get out his sword and chop Brienne's head off as soon as he sees her.
And Jamie's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
I wish they'd included that.
Yeah, that would have been great. Again, I don't think they could have handled that scene in the show.
No, it would have made Loris too tough for
It
them
would have
to
made
get
him
up
too
to.
tough, and it would have, yeah. I don't think
They couldn't make him live up to the stereotype.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. But I think the only thing we're worried about in that arrest scene was if it comes from Cersei, if it's like quite blatant that she's orchestrating it, then I think it's okay. But if she just sort of is there and it's like, oh look, the High Septon will arrest people, that's convenient. It will make her look really thick, because then surely she'd realise they could arrest her. And that
The whole point is she doesn't realise her
she
plots
doesn't realise her plots.
aren't as
backfire.
amazing as they in fact are not.
Yeah.
And I'm just, that's the little point.
Well, that's kind of the great thing about Cersei's character, though. Well,
Yeah.
it was a few months ago. We had Laura on here and we talked about the Lannisters, and she's a big Cersei fan. She has her own. We'll
She
chill
wants
for her
Cersei
right
then.
now. But yeah, it's a Cersei Lannister page. Link it in the description.
I'll link it. Yeah, why not? I don't. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's still active. I think I've seen it post stuff.
I think
Yeah.
she still has it. I hope so. She had a really good page.
Cersei's gonna have to be really heavy this season.
Yeah, they're going to
Otherwise,
show a lot.
just to get through it all.
It's gonna be a very heavy Cersei season, yeah.
And I like that. I've got to say.
Yeah, I think because she is the centre of politics, so I think that works.
And the thing is,
but-
she's the only kind of main character left in King's Landing, because
Yeah.
Jaime's going to Dorne. Well, there's Marjorie and Loras, but I mean, she's the sort of...
Well, they wouldn't
She's
give
the
Lot.
central antagonist in King's Landing right now.
Well, is she the
No, I
antagonist? Because it's her story that's going to be in King's Landing. So the antagonist for that will be the High Septon.
Well, I mean, there's no right or wrong antagonist in especially this kind of book. Series,
Yeah.
but...
Yeah, but she's always portrayed as a baddie, though. Even when you're reading from her point of view, you don't want her to succeed.
Yeah, but you kind of don't want
I
to.
kind of really wanted her to throw wine in people's faces, because...
I love the crazy internal monologues.
Yeah, they were
I love her insults
Yeah,
as well.
When I get out of here, I'll have the lost of the head and find better entertainment. It's so funny.
So funny.
She's pretty funny.
Witless Sow being a personal favourite. I do like that one.
I get
Just
called that
think
a lot.
just think about what is so funny. Witless.
No, she's actually a really fun character. She really is. I know a lot. Like, I don't know why people hated the
I don't know either.
Crows, Cersei chapter so much, because
The
I thought they were the
Cersei
best
chapters are my
part.
favourite in A Feast for Crows.
Yeah, mine too.
I know, I
Especially-
prefer
no
I
offense
prefer
to
the
George.
Ironborn.
Yeah, I
I
don't
like
like a lot of
that.
the Feast for Crows stuff. Like, I know it's a lot of world building, but I just don't like A Feast for Crows as much as the other books. I mean, yeah.
I like the song.
It's not paced as well as the other books.
Yeah, I think that's my big problem with it.
Yeah.
Well, neither is Dance Dragons. Like, I mean, I've stopped my rereads. Like, but try reading. There's actually an order you can read it on the internet. where you read like Dance of Dragons and Feast of Crows together.
Yeah, I looked.
Makes it so much better.
Is it? I should
Yeah.
check that out. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because
I
then
would
you
have
don't
liked that in the
like,
description.
then you don't have to read like one half of the storyline, go back and read another
Yeah.
where it's same timeline. So it goes kind of chronologically.
It's a good idea.
That is a good
I should
idea.
But I do think that having Cersei's arrest and Cersei's walk in 2 separate books did work.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I think having both of them in the same series may sort of dilute the impact of one of them, probably the arrest.
Which is
Yeah.
sad because I think
Well, it's
I
happening
think-
in the same season because the war
Yeah.
season.
Cersei's Walk of Atonement, I think, is certainly something that I had mixed feelings about. I certainly didn't find it, like, I didn't enjoy reading that, like, totally.
It was
like, I mean, like,
uncomfortable to read.
it is, it's uncomfortable.
Whereas Cersei's being arrested, I thought
It's
was
very
just
satisfying.
it was amazing. It was a great read. Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, you
Because,
know,
yeah, I mean, nothing horrible.
nothing that
happens
bad
there,
happens
yeah.
to her, but she stops her from doing all the awful things she's been up to, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole "I am a queen" and being dragged off.
Yeah.
Before we end, should we do a count of like who we think is gonna live through the series and who isn't out of the Tyrells
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
for
Right.
each of us?
Right.
Okay, Tim, you start.
Garland's gonna die. Willis will live. Loras isn't in ambiguous circumstance because there's like tinfoil that he's dead, tinfoil that he's actually alive, and it's Tyrell conspiracy that he hasn't actually been burned. Elena is a difficult one to say because he's quite old. I think Mace will survive, which will
Ew.
disappoint Danzy.
No.
Marjorie, I think Marjorie will die.
Okay, Phil.
Unfortunately, I think Garland's gonna die, mostly because everyone is a competent warrior and isn't just largely immoral, like, tends to die in this series. So I think Willis, Mace, because he's a bumbling idiot, and bumbling idiots always survive. And that's probably about it. I think just Willis and Mace. Maybe Elena, but she'll probably die of, like, old age anyway.
Okay, Michael.
I think Marjorie's probably gonna die. As much as I hate to think about her, because I like the character, but I think she might. I think that Loras, because he almost died, will not die. And I think I think Mace will probably live and be kind of incomprehending of what's going on. Be like, oh, is Garland being killed? Oh no, nuts. I think Elena, she'll live up until the end, and she might die at the end. And as I think one of Garland and Willis will die, and the other one will live. But I'm not sure who.
Okay, John.
Again, I think, I know none of us have talked about Lady Allery, maybe it's not important enough. But I think she's got deep subtext, personally. I think she will probably live. I think Mace may live. I just think he seems always to be in the wrong place, like he's never in like the places that are that dangerous. So I think he'll probably live.
But it might be like a Pycelle where he just turns around and
Yeah.
gets a crossbow bolt to the face.
He might, but again, if one of the Aegon or Targaryens turn up, that I think he'll be okay. He supported them in the Hall of the Usurper, so I think he'll be fine. I think,
That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, I think Loras will survive because, again, he's reflected Jaime's storyline. So if he is in fact crippled, it would reflect kind of Jaime, and we'd get a more humble Loras.
I never thought of that. That's a good point.
Maybe that makes.
Well, especially if he has oil poured all over his face and he was like really, really good looking, like that might
He
humble him.
becomes the
Yeah.
Hound.
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah, in a way. His good looks are his best asset, and they'd be gone if he got hurt.
Yeah. And I think, again, Marjorie, as much as I hate to think about it, I think it would be very difficult for the plot to keep her alive. I think if she doesn't die, she will go into being very obscure and we won't see her again.
Well, what
Maybe
do
the
you think?
faithful
Andrew?
just... Oh, sorry. Danzy, you go ahead.
Well, I think that the people who will live are probably going to be... I want to say, like, Loras, Olenna, and probably Mace. just because George R. R. Martin wants to spite me. I think Garland will die, though, yeah. Marjorie is kind of a plot hindrance if she... I don't know, it seems like Marjorie's been really, really fortunate so far to be able to weasel her way out of these dangerous situations. Like, it seems like this might be kind of like something that she just can't get out of. So, I mean, I agree, I think she probably will die, but... It's kind of sad, because I like all of the Tyrells, with the exception of Mace, so I don't really want any of them to die, but...
So, obviously your least favourite is Mace, but who's everyone else's favourite and least favourite, Tara?
Mine's Garland. Least favourite? Probably Mace, actually, yeah.
I'm a Garland fan as well. Like, it's just really cool. And then probably the favorite is either Mace or Loris. I don't know why I don't like Loris. I just don't connect with him as a character.
I think we do. Yeah, he was just. I think we have to say we didn't say this before we actually started though, but a big problem I have, I just want to establish. Otherwise, I think it's a little unclear that we have why we're not a fan of Loris in the series is because I think like many non-heterosexual characters, they start with their sexuality and build it from there.
Didn't we already say that? Okay.
You did.
That's what.
You think you said that? Oh, yeah.
Have I actually said that?
I think you might have done.
It's alright.
Was that what we were
I don't think we were
recording?
recording at that point.
I thought we had
Either
gone through that.
Either way.
Either way,
my
just
favorite is
Yeah,
Loris,
outside that point.
because he trains hawks and breeds horses.
Yeah. And just because of that, obviously my least favourite in the show is obviously Loris. But actually I quite liked him in the books. So least favourite, Lady Allery, because she doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Lady Allery doesn't do anything, and it's
I
like
forgot about Lady Allery.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Like you forget about if you compare the other women in the show and the other characters, like period. Like if you think like she doesn't seem to do anything. And I think when you've got other characters like Marjorie who've like had all this training, what's she been doing?
Yeah, what's the name?
Like what's she been up to? So I think she's probably my least favourite. Then you've got most favourite. I'm only really going to talk about the ones we've really seen. So I'm probably going to go for Marjorie because she annoys Cersei so much and it's really funny.
Yeah,
I feel like the best outcome of this trial is just the fate to lock Marjorie and Cersei in a room and just say, sort your problems out.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Jeremy Kyle's way.
No!
Just fuck already. Just get it out of your system.
That's totally okay too. But I was just going to...
I would be okay with that.
I would be very okay with that.
That'd be fine.
I think that, because, in the series, I think that Marjorie's obviously far more aware. I mean, it's kind of ambiguous in the books that she's aware that Cersei doesn't like her. Do you think that she'll be all surprised when Cersei comes to visit her in jail, or she'll just freak out and like attack her or something?
It's a bit incongruous with the character they're trying to build up.
Do you think she'll slap her like Sansa slaps Robin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be something like that. Like she'll just call her an evil bitch right from the off, as opposed to pretending.
And then they'll get it on right on the floor. No, I'm just kidding.
Down, ba-da-down.
I don't know.
Like,
I also thought that there was
HBO.
kind of like weird sexual tension between those two. Like in a.
Well, it would be a bit incestuous.
Wow.
Yeah, it's totally Cersei's thing. So.
I mean,
Yeah, I saw a
it's
meme the
HBO.
other day.
Think about the rating boost.
It was
Think
like,
about
call
the
me
ratings boost.
call me sister again, Marjorie, and we would be going straight to my quarters.
Wouldn't it be chambers, not quarters?
The meme said
Either
quarters,
way.
but yeah, same.
Maybe it's a euphemism.
Well, I thought quarters was something on a ship, but okay. I'm being pedantic.
Well, she has a pleasure boat.
That is true. That is
Puts
true.
the pleasure in pleasure boat.
Now we know what it's for.
When this boat's a rockin', don't come a knockin'. I think we're done.
Yeah, I think
I think we should wrap
we're
this
now
up.
And
done.
on that bombshell.
You can't say that anymore. Probably a good thing in the end. So that's it for this episode. We've run out of things to talk about. You can go back to being more bored than you are now that made you click on this video. And with that, goodbye. Everyone say goodbye as well.
Bye.
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 Bye.